G-Sparkz got that heat, baby.
Yo, what's good, y'all? It's your boy G-Sparkz, aka Sparkz Got That Heat. Might as well know me as the producer, multi-platinum producer and songwriter. And a couple of records that you might know me as is the author of Young M.A's hit record, Summer Story, which did substantially well, accompanied with her current single at the moment, Ooh. After that, I'm also the author and producer of two records that's on DMX's album entitled Undisputed. I also had the pleasure of working with Remy Ma featuring Yo Gotti and Rick Ross, which led her to win Best Female Hip Hop Artist for the BET platform.
So by the time the 2 weeks was up, the record was already moving?
Yeah, it started to pick up crazy.
Okay.
But I didn't get wind of it till while I was on vacation, but you know, the Wi-Fi out there is crazy for me. So I couldn't really get the impact. So like, I'm getting texts, you know what I'm saying, emails. I'm like, oh, for real, it's crazy? All right, so
you wasn't there when they did the video? She did the video
Nah. I found out after the fact when I came back. When I came back, that's when everything I found out was crazy. I was like, damn, you're going crazy for this?
Yeah.
That's dope. So let's rewind now. And after Remy, then I see that you had other whole bunch of artists after your first record, Remy.
Right.
And you had a whole bunch of artists.
In addition to that, you might as well know me for producing two amazing records on Vato's King of Harlem recent project, Long Run Volume 2. I produced a single featuring Lloyd Banks entitled It's Alright, and I also produced Cartier Panther.
This for my niggas that kept silent, hurting but kept smiling. Kept it on them cause niggas only respect violence. Ask a bitch how many dudes hit with that talent.
And then, we get into it. My man on G on the side, you know, shouts to 50 and Banks. I did a record for 50 called Ain't Gon' Lie, which grossed over 70 million streams worldwide. And also led me to be blessed to produce two records off of Banks' album at the time called Y.F.M. 2. So if you ask me, I put in a lot of work. Let's get into it. Come join me in my story. This is Behind the Beats. Yeah, so another record that I did that I was blessed to do was Lay 'Em to Rest featuring Busta Rhymes, Rick the Villain, French Montana, and the homie Uncle Murder. The way that came about is I actually went to Quad Studios and I was invited there for some session. I can't even remember who was there at the time, but Busta's engineer was actually there. I know I played it for Busta. Busta went crazy, and then at that point, he just took it to French. French did his thing at that point, and one thing led to another. Funk Flex heard it and just went crazy on the radio waves. You know, I sampled Onyx, and that was just a crazy time, man. Like, the beats was booming, and the intro was what had everybody going crazy. And then you heard Funk Dr. Flex, Funk Master Flex, and kept dropping bombs and bombs and bombs on Hot 97. And then you heard my tag, you know, Sparkz Got That Heat, and that's how that came about.
Somebody call the hospital now. There will be a couple of EMS units needed. Rick the Villain, French Montana, Uncle Murder, Bust. Somebody is in trouble now.
Master Flex Night.
Yes, y'all. You know you niggas fucking with the best, y'all. We coming for your motherfucking chest, y'all. We about to lay you niggas.
All right, so the craziest record that everybody still talk about to this day that, you know, pretty much is a viral record for every summer, timeless, you know, this is what you call timeless, was Young M.A's Summer Story. You know, shouts to my co-producer and my DJ and my friend, Superstar Jay from Queens. Y'all, man, that's my dog, man. And what happened was I gave him a couple records, gave him like, probably like 7. you know, and at the time, I was actually planning on a trip. I was actually getting ready to go to Panama. He was like, yo, I need some records for Young May. I was like, yeah, I know she is. She does, at this time, she was doing freestyles. She was doing freestyles like crazy. And, you know, sent the records, and then she picked that one. And then I didn't get wind of it till, you know, when I was on vacation at the time, and all the feedback was going crazy when I was already out of town, so I didn't really get the feel of it till I actually came back to Maryland. When I came back to Maryland, you know, like, text was crazy, like, yo, it's just going viral, whatever. So then she started performing everywhere with Ooh, because at the time she had the Ooh record, so she was doing both singles. She was doing Ooh and she was doing Summer Story. She performed it everywhere. Man, the joint ended up being, it led her to winning a Best Female Hip Hop Artist as well. BET used the audio bite for that too, for promotion. It was just wild, man. Like I said, and the crazy part is about that record, that beat itself, I had gave it to Fab, Jada, Christian, a rack of people, man. Like, and they, you know, I guess it wasn't suitable for them at that moment. But Young M.A made that crazy. You know what I mean? She made it crazier than what it is. Well, we all know it was crazy, but she just took it to the top, and then she shouted me out on Breakfast Club and gave me my production credit and just showed me love. And then, you know, that led to DJ Envy and other people being familiar with my work. And at that point, it was just a blessing in disguise, and it just took off.
Your second single that you have out now, heavily influenced by the 90s.
Yeah.
80s, 90s. Tell us about that.
Well, shout out to G-Sparkz. He produced the record. Shout out to DJ Superstar J. He pitched the record. Pitched the beat. And
Superstar J. Wow, he should have gave me that one. That was crazy.
Nah.
You heard it, something, right?
I don't know what you
got the audio 2 sample on it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. He sent me the beat and was like, "Yo, like, me and DJ Superstar J supposed to be originally working on a mixtape. I don't know, you know, what's the situation right now, but he sent me the beat, and he was like, "Yo, I just hear you on this. Like, this is crazy right here." So I listened to it. I said, "Oh, yeah," and I wrote right then and there. As soon as he sent me the beat, I wrote something to it, and I recorded it like about 2 days later when I got to the studio. And it was one of those records, like, I was kind of going through it because me and my shorty just broke up. You know what I mean? Like, beginning of summer.
She cheated on you? You cheated on her?
At the time, and no one knows, this is probably the first time I'm actually speaking on this publicly, but I had a mutual relationship with a particular individual who, you know, my homie. She had a relationship at Drake. She took the project to Drake. Drake was interested in doing it. I don't know what happened amongst them two, but I guess they had a fallout business-wise, or it didn't make sense at the time. But at the time also, Drake was working on Top Boy, and that was scheduled to drop in March. So it was just crazy, man. Like, everything was packaged so nicely, man. I don't know what happened, man, but it's not on me. Like, I mean, everybody's asking me, like, yeah, I shot it. Like, you know, it's a good documentary. Like, the project was lit, but it never really, it got shelved, you know, for whatever reason, you know? So that was Drake's project. Drake was actually gonna be taking over that, and it was gonna be something great. And I don't know, I can't speak on that because that's not my relationship. At the time, it was my business partner relationship with Drake's camp and OVO. And like I said, I don't know what happened, but, you know, it was a crazy situation because, you know, we all look forward to it, you know what I'm saying? I look forward to it, but, you know, moving forward, I ended up being in a bigger space, you know, so everything happens for a reason. There's never no mistakes, so you just can only learn from it. But I don't regret that moment. That was a very instrumental moment in my career. I still had a relationship over there at Netflix. It's different, you know, music supervisors, directors, and things of that sort. So that's why you guys seen the preview to the Netflix documentary of Behind the Beats and all that whole concept or whatnot. And this is why we didn't continue with it. Like, it was practically filmed and it was almost done, but the way it was supposed to work was we were gonna get a producer from different cities, and they were supposed to explain how they make beats, and then it was gonna be a crazy situation. But I can't really speak too much on it, but it wasn't me. It wasn't my fault, man. It was more so business behind it, you know, between business partners that had nothing to do with me, you know what I mean? So. I had plenty of meetings where, you know, I'm independent now, you know what I mean? But I had plenty of meetings with multiple record labels that were interested in signing me as a producer and a songwriter. Why didn't I take it? Because I felt like it was taking too much of my publishing, you know what I mean? So there's nothing wrong with signing to a major, but it gotta make sense. And you know, just like Bobby Shmurda said, they don't like it when you're intelligent, you know what I mean? You could never burn your bridge or cross me because I know exactly what I'm doing, you know what I mean? Which led to, there was a particular artist, I ain't gonna say no names, where like there's 2 labels right now that owe me a check right now. So this particular artist, I did a couple records on this project, major artist, and out the blue, they just released him from his project, but where's my check? I mean, I signed my attorney signed sent the paperwork over, I signed the declaration page, signed everything, the sound, all the Exhibit A, everything. I signed everything, and I kept receiving texts saying, yeah, payment circulating, I ain't getting nothing. So that goes to say, like, I don't really like labels, man, and not even more so the labels. I feel like I would still sign with a label where it would make sense for me because I know exactly what I would bring to the table. I know what to ask for, I know what to look out for, I know what to stand away from, I know the red flags, like, but one thing I would say for sure is know your business, you know what I mean? Know exactly how much you're entitled to. I own everything. I own 100% of all my masters, everything. I own my publishing. Like, it's nobody over here taking more than it was supposed to be, you know what I mean? Like I own everything, man, like everything, like legally, literally own everything. It's just wild, man. Like the label thing, man, is cool, but it gotta make sense. If I advise if somebody was to get a situation at a label, man, holler at them for a marketing deal. And then another thing, like the A&Rs that I had relationships with, to me, I felt like they were like car salesmen because after you get a placement, and you know, mind you, it's not their responsibility to do the paperwork, but they gotta make sure that the paperwork is done correctly. So you don't have to, how do I say this? You don't have to do everything that is required from a standpoint it's hard to explain, man. I'll just say this. A&R is supposed to be doing their job and they're not doing their job. I'll just put it like that. So when an A&R gives you the paperwork and you sign or whatever, they gone. It's like going to the car dealership. Once you sign off on that car and you pull off, they don't care if you have an issue with the car or nothing. A&Rs don't care if you have issues with anything. You won't hear from them. When I'm talking about bread, where's my money? You know what I'm saying? So like, you won't hear from them. Like they got their little percentage off the projects or whatever, because a lot of them is off salary. You know what I mean? It's so much I can go deep in it, but a lot of them is off salary. So their job is to find an artist or find a record, get it placed. Once it gets placed, they get their check. Once it's on the album, and they out. But what if there's misspelling on the project? Was a misspelling on the credits? Metadata is essential. So if your metadata and your data entry is incorrect, one misspelling will fuck up your whole shit. Will fuck up your whole discography, your whole method of payment, for you to get your bread, everything. So you gotta make sure that, I mean, as a songwriter and producer, you gotta make sure you dot every I and cross every T, because you can't rely on the next man to do the work that you're supposed to be doing. And honestly, it's not really their responsibility, but I mean, when you work for a label, it's their responsibility to make sure it appears correct for the establishment that you work for. And that's what it is, man. But I'm not against the label. It just gotta make sense for me and everybody around me. That's it. Make sure, man, if y'all follow me, all business inquiries, hit up sparksguyheat@gmail.com or pengriffy72@gmail.com. Follow me on social media on IG, sparksguyheat. That's SPARKZGOTHEAT. Shouts to Vado for allowing me to produce an incredible body of work. And shouts to everybody that's supported me since day one. You already know the vibes, man. It's Sparks Guy Heat, the ill pen writer, Pen Griffey, baby. You know what it is. It's Let's get it. What's good, y'all? It's your boy G-Sparkz, aka Sparkz Got That Heat, multi-platinum producer, and I'm rocking with Y.F.M Media, mic'd up.